Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I thought this would be a fun way to introduce the stream, and you know what? So did Sean. So we absolutely take those. Yeah, I thought we'd have a little bit of a chat about the choices that are facing Leeds United in the up and coming period. I'm going to make the music go away. I just really like the music. You know, it's a fun little bit of intro stuff. But we need to have an actual, proper, genuine discussion about various Leeds United-y things that are going to be coming in the next week or so, because as we know, we didn't manage to beat Swansea. As we know, there was someone to blame for it. And as we know, various other things are going on behind the scenes at Leeds United. So there's many decisions to be made. But one decision that you can make right now is helping out the channel. Specifically, you can help out the channel by checking out Match Bingo. Match Bingo are one of the channel's only sponsor at the moment, because I've got various other bits and bobs going for the charity match, but I'll talk about those later. But let's find out a little bit more about Match Bingo whilst I try and read the ad script, shall we? Is the mic on? Oh no. I don't know. It was on the wrong microphone. Thank you, Mengsu. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know how much of that actually came through. So, let's take a little bit of a quick little deep dive into our channel sponsor, first of all, then we'll discuss all the choices that are ahead of Leeds United. So, specifically, shouting out Match Bingo. Match Bingo is a fun little app where you can win cash prizes by having a bunch of various events pop up on a match card, including VAR checks, corners, goals, bookings, that kind of thing. You can watch the card fill up in real time and win cash prizes by getting a line, 2 lines, a full house. Keep in mind, though, only put in what you're willing to lose. Be careful, look after yourself, and that'll be great. And if you are having any concerns or anything, down below I have a link to Gamble Aware, so everything should be all good. 18 plus as well, of course. You know the rules and regulations around that, but yeah. Anyway, now we need to talk about Leeds United's decisions. And first of all, we have the big decision, the big clunky decision, the big unfun decision. Could hear everything, but the quality was slim. Okay, cool. I've fixed it. Before I get into all of the decisions and things, as you will all know at this stage, I say you will all know, it depends on if you've looked at the community tab recently. Yesterday, what basically happened was 15 minutes before a very big work meeting, my computer decided to completely reset itself. And by that, I mean I would turn it on and it would just black screen. There was nothing. So, rebooted it a couple times, ended up going to boot in safety mode, which is ultimately what you want to do if this is happening. But the only option available to me was to fully reinstall Windows and reset my hard drive. Which means that quite a lot of stuff that I've been working on has disappeared, which is good, including a behind-the-scenes video that I was editing and putting together and all that fun stuff for the charity match, which is good. Definitely didn't want to put that one out. So yeah, we're playing catch-up at the minute, which is definitely what you want to be doing. So yeah, that's where we're at. So if things are a little bit off, if the occasional setting is very broken, that's why. It's because I've not gotten around to fixing everything yet, because it reset every single thing, which is fun considering the number of settings that I had that were like custom sorted for my PC and my setup and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, getting into the choices. First of all, you all know what this first decision to make is, right? And pop it in the chat, because you know. Just let me know that you know. Did I get into trouble? Thankfully not, because I've got very understanding bosses who were more than willing to sort of make sure that everything was okay and everything was pointing in the right direction. It would have been significantly worse if it happened tomorrow morning, because I've got like an actual like operational work shift, and then I've got a meeting, and then in the evening I'm working the Merseyside derby. So that's an interesting one that could be a bit of a problem if it goes wrong again. We're desperately hoping it doesn't. It should be fine. But the issue, as was covered by Sean a little bit earlier, was around Illan Meslier. This is the first of the issues. Let's be completely clear. There's multiple issues that need conversations around them. But the first of the issues is very, very obviously Illan Meslier. Now, to clarify, I don't know McDonald's staff had online meetings. You bastard. How dare you? But to clarify my stance on the Meslier stuff, because again, people have been deliberately misinterpreting what I think for quite some time on this one. I would have dropped him after Hull. We proceeded to not drop him after Hull. And at that point, it wasn't I'm fully behind the guy. It's, if I'm complimenting him, please remember, I don't particularly want him in the first 11 at this point, because I don't think he's at that level right now. It's just a danger, it's a threat, it's a problem. Not great. But we're currently in the position of now there's another big decision to be made. Because at first, Daniel Farke stuck with him, and that was fine because he had a couple of decent performances after that. That was okay. And I'll be honest, until whatever minute that ball went in the other day, I was still like, okay, cool. Maybe we were doing a redemption arc. But the redemption arc is over because that is a very, very clear, this is the time where you don't make cock-ups, and you've done it. Which leaves us with the choice. And the choice is Darlow or Meslier. And what I'm going to do, in fact, in the chat is I'm going to go, what would you do? Would you pick Meslier or would you pick Darlow? I would have done another choice, which was just the word cry, but I've decided against that one. Especially annoying thing, right? When the PC just conked, took the Football Manager save. I was going to start that up again in like today because I had a decent chunk of time this afternoon where I was going to do it, and I was like, oh, I can't just recreate a year and a half of Football Manager, which is a pain. Darlow or Genge, you mean? No. I mean Darlow versus Meslier. This is just a question of would you pick Meslier at all? And I think absolutely not. I think we're at the stage where if you are picking Meslier and he makes a single other mistake, I'd say, right, okay, Daniel, you've had the opportunity here. You had one point where you had like a bit of an inflection, and it's, are you going to pick the keeper or are you going to pick someone else? And I think the wrong decision was made. This is one where it's not even a choice. This is one where it has to be that way because that way is madness. And I think we will land in the right direction this weekend. Do I? I don't know. Because I know that there's going to be genuine arguments for maybe you just play Meslier because that's the cards you've been dealt, and is Darlow significantly worse? I don't know. I'm almost certainly picking Meslier. But on this, this is another one. Because what if it goes the other way around? Because you're in a position where if you know that the road in front of you that you're currently driving on has like nails glued to the floor pointing upwards, and you're like, that's going to ruin my tires, you probably pick the other road, which in this case is called Darlow. You don't know if there's landmines or anything, but you just know that that one is bad, that one might be bad. So that's the option that I would go with. But that makes it baffling. I absolutely would not head in the Meslier direction for Luton. I just wouldn't, because it's a step too far for me. But then again, we're not the ones picking the team, so you never know how that one's going to land. Dahl needs to come in. Nonto on one of the wings, and if fit, I'd start Bamford. Maybe. Bamford is the question mark, I think. Because I like someone that can just be a number 9, that can make the run to the place where you need to make the run when a ball is squared. And Bamford does that, although like a good proportion of the time he misses. But that's where you get a little bit complex. That's where we need to rein it in a little bit more. Luton will throw everything at our keeper. Absolutely, Luton will throw everything at our keeper. But the question is, how much do Luton have to throw? So I'm going to have a quick check over FBref, and I will have a look. And whilst I'm having a look, if the ad read at first didn't work, check out Match Bingo down below. It's my affiliate link. If you click on that, they might continue to help the channel out, and helping the channel out is helping the charity match out, which is fantastic. There'll be more on the charity match tomorrow. Ooh, hopefully. We'll have to find out. Championship. Why didn't I just search Luton? I don't know, but Luton currently second bottom of the league. Not in a good place. But in terms of form, they haven't lost in the last 3. They got pumped by Burnley, 4-0, which is not a good position to be in. But after that, beat Cardiff 2-1. Borough was a 0-0 draw, but they created 2.4 XG. I don't know how they've not scored a single goal there. But and then Hull. They beat 1-0. They are getting better right now. And that is an ominous thing for a side that is getting a bit worse. They have played fairly consistently 3 at the back. Well, that's a 3-5-2, 3-4-1, or 5-4-1, whatever it is. And bouncing about a bit. They haven't won in the last 3 games. I'm looking at it right now, Danny. They've just not lost in the last 3. But the scary part about that is it's a trip down to London. And whilst their home form isn't fantastic, they've won once at home in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've won 1 in 7 at home. We're currently in a position where we're sort of gifting results and opportunities to other sides. And we need to not be doing that right now. Because if we are doing that, I'm a little bit spooked and would like us to stop it, please. And then I can be a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, for me, it's Darlow. But the issue here is I don't see that happening at all. I think, regardless, we're in a situation where we're sort of tied in. Where don't regard Luton as London. I'm going to keep regarding Luton as London. Because London Luton Airport. And I know it's technically not the same thing, but I'm going to do it anyway. But no, I think all you do if you sack him before the end of the season is you destabilise the ship. And I was chatting with Darren of Only Leeds Bros earlier and having a little bit of a conversation around like what is the general sort of feeling and sentiment and how we're approaching stuff. And the reason that I'm not really negative and mad right now is because I kind of know that we've been in this exact place before. I know that what we've done in the past is coming off a break, we've lost a match, and then we've won until we get promoted. This is exactly what happened in the Bielsa season, and I know it's different circumstances, and I know that this is very probably just copium and inaccurate and bollocks. But that's a little bit of the feeling that I'm getting. A little bit of the, you've lost that one, that's a lesson, get it in gear now. And if we don't get it in gear, then it's the playoffs. And I don't trust us in the playoffs. But it's tricky. Okay, you guys are vastly going towards you would pick Darlow. So I'm going to do a second poll. Who will Daniel Farke pick? And I kind of want to know what you think. Because this is kind of fascinating to me, to sort of see what the gap is between the manager and the fans. Don't trust the manager in the Premiership. His record is very poor in the Premier League. This will bring us on to what I'm going to call decision number 2. Now, decision number 2 is a conversation that quite a lot of Leeds fans have been having over the past couple of weeks. Decision number 2 is, even if we go up, do we keep Daniel Farke? Which, for me, I have always said, and I believe I will always continue to say, you keep him. Because if someone does the job to get you promoted and you back them financially, because the issue with his time at Norwich was he had no financial backing at all. Nothing. His biggest signing in the first season was Sam Byram, which isn't great. So I think you at the very least give the window with a decent amount of backing that can be used to slot in any number of positions. So if you have any question marks over, like, we don't want to pick someone specific for this role and this system, you don't have to. You sign someone who can do the right wing job rather than what we saw from Jesse Marsh's stuff, which was narrow. Because you get any other manager, it doesn't work anymore. So I think you make some signings and you hope. And then you give them a few weeks. Depending on what happens, then you get rid. But I think doing so over the summer would be a little bit daft. And there is this as well. Leeds fans like we're good at choosing managers. Yeah, that's a pretty big problem. We're always in a sort of position where it's like, we'll just find better. When did we last find better? Like, Bielsa was when we last found better. Following Bielsa, it was Jesse Marsh who was worse. Then it was Javi Gracia, who did not improve us. And then it was Sam Allardyce, who did not improve us. And now we're in second in the Championship, which is genuinely not awful. It's more, I think, the manner in which we're dropping points is frustrating more than the fact that we've dropped points. All depends on signings made as well. Yeah, it does, for me. If Palmer took that approach, they would have missed out on Iraola. Farke has to go at the end of the season for me. Would they? Hold on. I've completely forgotten the context around the Iraola Bournemouth thing. But then you definitely need to have someone better lined up, is my concern there. So who would that be? I don't know. Hard to say. Well, Joey B, why is a Prem team never try getting Farke in the Prem? Hold on, I'm trying to think through his record. 1 minute. So it was Norwich, and then he went very, very quickly to Krasnodar, which did not last a long time because the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Then immediately to Gladbach, and then to Leeds. So A, there's not been that long of a time. B, Premier League clubs have this thing where either you need to be an exotic foreign manager that's done La Liga or something along those lines, or you need to be Premier League proven, whatever the fuck that actually means. So a lot of people will, as we've seen recently, be shouting Big Sam or Mick McCarthy, or those are the past names at the very least. But there's no guarantee that they're better, is the thing. I think if someone gets you promoted from the Championship, they at the very least deserve the opportunity to keep you up in the Premier League. If it doesn't work, fine. But I don't know. Oh, it was Schroeder, not Slot. Sorry, I realised I got that wrong on the last live stream, but I hadn't had a chance to deal with it. Schroeder is currently at Al Nassr, which is interesting. Immediately after Ajax, he went to Al Ain. Has he been any good there? Saudi Pro League. Well, he's currently carrying Al Nassr, which is the propaganda team in Saudi Arabia, to third. So I'm gonna say not too well. Yeah, this is where I'm sitting on it, basically. And a lot of people will disagree, but that's fine. Nutson's a shout. Like I mentioned on, where was it? I mentioned it. Not Another Leeds podcast. On that note, Not Another Leeds podcast. If you have the opportunity and are in the chat and are not subscribed over there yet, go and say hello to Not Another Leeds pod. They are very, very, very close to 1,000. And if we can get them to 1,000 people, then good things. Like it's good to have a strong community, and the way that we get that strong community is everyone having a fairly strong following. And the way that we do that is by supporting people. Plus, very, very funny podcasts on a Sunday. And if you have a specific interest in it, there is the episode that I did yesterday up there right now. And with how many people watching right now? 71 people watching right now. They need 61 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, go over there, say hello. They're good dudes. It'll be a good time. I'm going to pop the video that I did with them, and it'll be all good. You are going good, Danny. Also, go and subscribe to Danny. Anyway. Where was I? This is the other one as well, right? If someone does their job and you sack them, I don't know how you hire someone else. Like everyone's screaming Mourinho, Mourinho, Mourinho. One, you complained about a turgid style of football earlier in the season. Mourinho is not going to fix that. Two, realistically, Mourinho could probably get a top tier job somewhere and isn't necessarily going to come to Leeds. It's like a lot of fans have seen a shiny name and gone, I like it. But I don't know. This is it. The 49ers will make a decision. If we don't start, we'll sack him, I believe, but give him the opportunity. Yeah, give him the chance. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and we can fix it fairly sharpish. Set a deadline, set a target for said deadline, and if you're not achieving that target, then fine. That's how jobs work. If you're not doing what you have been employed to do, then you don't get to keep the job. But for the moment, we're on track for it. So it's hard to say. Don't care about the footballs. No, this is right. Okay. This is where I disagree, and I don't know if I could disagree any further. The reason a lot of us watch football is because when we were younger, we watched some pretty damn good stuff, and we were entertained by it, and we were drawn into it. And it was really nice. And the way that you kill that sense of fun is by playing the most turgid, horrible football possible, because, hey, it keeps you up. Because at the end of the day, Burnley under Sean Dyche stayed up. Yeah, sure. Everton under Sean Dyche stayed up. Yeah, sure. But they were fucking miserable. And that's something that we can avoid by making like a better managerial signing than just going, yeah, you've done it before. But at the same time, you don't know that Mourinho can do it when he's not got the best resources in his given league, because that's all he's ever done. All he's ever done is be at the top of a division and had what you need to win it. That doesn't quite, it doesn't tally down for me. On this, that is a wild, wild idea. Unlikely, but you rejig things. And there is this. They will want some shiny toys, and they will get the shiny toys. Because they want something to show off to the shareholders and go, look, we've done something big and impressive. Because at the end of the day, it's an investment firm. Dyche doesn't win things. If you win things, it's the best feeling. Well, that's the thing. When has Mourinho won something with a mid-table club? With better resources than us, he didn't win a thing with Spurs. But at the same time, we're saying, why aren't we signing him? I just don't think it makes sense. In his time managing, he was at Benfica, he was at Porto, Chelsea, Inter, then Real Madrid, Chelsea again, Scum, Spurs, Roma, Fenerbahce. None of those are mid-table sides. None of those are going to be fighting for survival, and it's a different job. For me, at the very least. So who knows? Hard to say. But we have the additional thing. The third decision that is to be made, Seasiders TV, has to pick Darlow, reckon his job depends on it. Genuinely, maybe. But there is the third thing that needs considering. And that is out of my head. Angus Canoe. Angus is still at the club. Angus is still doing work, as far as we're aware. Why is he there? Why is he doing that right now? I don't understand it. The thing with that is you can't talk footballing stuff with Angus anymore, because that will give him a lead in on the Everton thing. And yeah, there'll be NDAs and all that kind of stuff, but who knows what can slip out in conversation. Just pop him on gardening leave or something. Anything. But I don't think Kinnear can reasonably stay, like right now. And at the same time, Hammond going with him. So our backroom staff is just... So that's another big decision that needs making, and it needs making like now. And if we don't do that, we are in deep, deep trouble. It's just about whether or not we actually do so. And if we don't, we're getting ourselves into a spooky little situation. Apologies, folks. I had completely forgotten to put up my little overlay with Match Bingo on it. Scan the QR code and do the thing. That'd be nice. Thank you. But yeah, it's complicated. It's tough. But what I'm going to do is I am going to, for the moment, whack us all the way over to the lovely, the wonderful, the delicious, I don't know. Questions corner. Not for long, because I need to go in a few minutes. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. So if anyone's got any questions of any shape or form, chuck them in my general direction. I will not be about for super long for the rest of the stream, but I can do 1 or 2 or 3. Also, yes, please gamble responsibly and be over the age of 18. And there is the link to gambleaware.com down below. I didn't need to do that. It's not part of like the contractual stuff, but I wanted to do that just to give people sort of the directionality, you know? But yeah, we'll do 1 or 2 questions in Questions Corner, and that'll be lovely. Should we go on straight away, and how can we plan for the future of no recruitment head? I think we do have a recruitment head. I just think it's someone that was internal that got promoted now. It's not an outsider, which is interesting. I don't know if that's a good thing, but we'll see. In this one, Chinese, comfortably. I'm doing a homemade chow mein for tea, which should be lovely. I'm back seeing Morrison's Manager tomorrow, Joe. Oh, lovely. Thank you very much. Let me know what they say, and that'll be banging. And yeah, 1 more quick question, and then I will call it, because I didn't realise I have a thing I'm doing at 6. I feel like that's not a question for me, Sean, so I'm going to leave that one for now. But very important note before I do go. Make sure that you are here for the stream that I'm doing tomorrow about this time. I'm going to start roughly 10 to 6 because there is an announcement thing at 6 o'clock. So if you are here, you will have an advantage in a thing. So do it. I'm going to have Joe Whitman over here. I'm going to have Max from Leeds Lately over here. And I think we're going to try and do like a multi-stream thing, which should be good if we can work it out. For my entire life, green packet. And that's where I'm going to leave it. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, pop a like on the stream, subscribe, become a channel member. All of the YouTube channel's revenue is going towards the charity match until the charity match has happened. So that's lovely jubbly. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Toodaloo.